right, welcome everyone. It is now 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call to order the Fenton Township Board meeting on this Tuesday, the 16th day of September, 2025. I would ask everyone to please stand for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Gopal, will you lead us?
Yes, sir, thank you. Heavenly Father, bless us as we gather here tonight. Help us to nurture the bonds of our community. Guide us to make decisions in the best interest for the residents of the township. We pray for the end of the conflicts in the world today. We pray for the sick, the injured, and the dead. And we ask for healing in our nation as well. We ask these things in your most holy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As always, Mark, thanks. You do a great job. Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Lorraine,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Krug is present, Kessler,
Here.
Gopal,
Here.
Tucker.
Present.
You have a full board.
All right, thanks, Bob. I'd like to note for the record that Township Attorney Jack Belzer, our Operations Manager Tom Broker, Zoning Administrator Mike Deem, our Fire Chief Ryan Volz, and our Assessor Julia Wilson are also present this evening. Additionally, the following Township officials are present via Zoom. Our Township Engineers Alan and Melissa Lawrence. Tom, will you detail the procedures for those attending tonight's virtual meeting?
Yes, to the members of the public attending tonight's meeting, in person or via Zoom, please be advised the meeting is being recorded to be shown on Public Access TV, Spectrum Channel 191. Recorded meetings are also posted on the Fenton Area Community Television YouTube channel. For those attending via Zoom, we ask that you keep your microphone muted until we reach portions of the meeting where public comment is allowed. For tonight's meeting, there are three public hearings for the Silvercrest Channel, crossings of Silver Ridge street lighting, and fire protection special assessments, each of which will have public comment segment. All other public comment will be taken near the end of the meeting. Meeting materials are available for download on the township's website at fentontownship.org.
All right, thanks, Tom. All right, moving on to the first business order is the approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? Hearing none, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve.
Second. All right, motion has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
I vote yes, Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, the agenda stands approved as presented. Moving on to the meeting minutes, is included in the packet are the meeting minutes to the September 2nd regular meeting. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to these meeting minutes? Hearing none, the meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Moving on to expenditures, are there any questions from the board regarding any of the invoices? John?
No, sir.
All right. I will entertain a motion regarding the payment of expenditures totaling $997,709.80 for payment.
Move to approve expenditures in the amount of $997,000. I can't get there quick enough. Come on. $709.80 as presented.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Reed,
Yes.
Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
I vote yes, Clark.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And the expenditures stand approved as presented. Moving on to the next business order, which is public hearings. As Tom said, we have three public hearings this evening. The first is the Silvercrest Channel Lake Improvement Special Assessment District Number 3, hearing on special assessment roll. This is a public hearing on the special assessment roll for Silvercrest Channel Lake Improvement Special Assessment District 3. I'm sure we've all reviewed the memo in our packets. Operations Manager Boak, will you review?
Yes, this is in effect a renewal of a program that's already been in place as weed control for a channel of Silver Lake that's adjacent to Silvercrest Drive. There are 15 parcels in the district. The assessment for the first year, which includes recovery of the township administrative costs, is $293.34 per parcel, and then in years 2 through 5, it's $173.34 per parcel.
All right, thanks, Tom. Okay, the board will now accept public comment on the following: an individual assessment in relation to benefits received, the total cost of the project, and the validity of the proceedings to date. All right, I'll now open up the public, up for public comment. Is there anyone here that is in attendance tonight that would like to address the board, but we're only addressing the board on the Silvercrest Channel Lake Improvement Special Assessment District? Yes, ma'am, can you mind coming up to the?
We're all for it.
Oh. All right.
Thank you.
Anyone? Hearing none, there's no one that has joined us via Zoom, so I will now close public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from the board? All right, hearing none, resolution number 2025-39, Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
Yes. Confirm special assessment roll 2025-05 as the assessment roll for Silvercrest Channel, Channel Lake Improvement Special Assessment District 3. Divides the assessment into 5 installments, with the first installment due and payable December 1st, 2025. Assesses a 1% per month penalty on late installments, directs the clerk to deliver and the special assessment roll with warrants attached to the treasurer, directs the treasurer to collect the special assessments, repeals any conflicting resolution.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion regarding the adoption of resolution number 2025-39 as presented.
So move.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
I vote yes. Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
resolution passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. The next one under public hearing is the Crossings of Silver Ridge Street Lighting Special Assessment District, hearing of necessity. Operations Manager Broke, will you review?
Yes, so as reported at the last meeting, an analysis of the township street lighting contract with consumers revealed that there are 8 street lights installed in the crossings of Silver Ridge subdivision more than 30 years ago. However, the special assessment district, to assess the ongoing cost to the benefiting property owners, was never created. We were able to determine that there was intent to do so, but it kind of fell through the cracks when my predecessor was on an extended medical leave in 1994. So at the last meeting, the board adopted a resolution to initiate the special assessment proceedings so the cost can be assessed to the benefiting properties going forward. Estimated cost of the project is $1570 per year for operation and maintenance, streetlights, and the first year assessment would also include administrative costs.
All right, thanks, Tom. Okay, the board will now accept public comment on the following: the creation of the special assessment district, the proposed boundaries of the district, and the cost estimates for the improvement. All right, I'll now open up for public comment. Is there anyone here in attendance that would like to address the board regarding the crossings of Silver Ridge Street Lighting Special Assessment District? Anyone? Yes, ma'am. If you don't mind, if you could just come up to the podium and state your name.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Freeling, and I live in Crossings.
Okay.
And I'm sorry I'm not a little bit more prepared than what I wanted to be. You've mentioned the cost for $1570 annual for this. Where did you come up with that figure? How did you get a bid for that, or did you look at what it previously had cost and average that from the past years to come
Tom
up
can
with
cover
that?
Okay, so, again, these are lights that are already in place and have been in place for over 30 years. So right now, there are the 8 street lights. 5 of them are the original high-pressure sodium type lights. 3 of them are LEDs. They've been replaced sometime during the last 30 years. So the average annual cost for the high-pressure sodium is about $230 a year per light and $140 a year for LEDs. So if you take 5 times 230 and 3 times 140, if my math is right, that should equal $1570. So that's the amount we're basing it on right now. Going forward, if this gets approved, every year we look at actual costs and adjust the assessments up or down based on actual costs for consumers.
So you are saying that $1570 is per household?
No, that's the total.
That's the
We divide that
total.
by 68 lots.
Got it, okay. It wasn't clear in the memo. I thought it was
Okay.
$1570 per household.
Well, this hearing is to create the district. The second hearing, if this goes forward, we'll have more detail about the cost. But you're looking the first year, probably $52, including the administrative costs. after that, about $23 to $25 a year.
Per year.
Okay, so now, when the subdivision was created, it was under an association at the time. They thought they were going to have an association run the subdivision. And there was, the agreement for association was filed in 1992 with the county. We did have an association in Crossings. I happen to live in the second half of the subdivision, the second project, not the first part of it. We did have an association for probably, I think at least until 1998-ish, where we were paying our own dues and taking care of our own maintenance. I do not know why the association was dissolved, but it was, and then it said that it would come back to then the township to govern us. What then made you decide to create the district and have us assume the cost of that again?
Well, the association, just to be clear, the association has nothing to do with this.
Okay,
The streetlights, what I found in meeting minutes was Mr. Deaver, who was a representative of the developer of the subdivision, came to the township board, I think it was in the fall of '92, and saying that they intended to have streetlights, and they wanted to do it under the township's contract. And the office manager at the time said, when the time comes, we'll need to set up a special assessment district to do that. Well, when the time came in the early '90s, I think the developer paid to get the lights put in. The lights were put in, the township approved it, but the special assessment district never got set up. Right now, your subdivision is the only one in the township that has streetlights that aren't paying for them.
okay, so all the other subdivisions
Every other
do?
subdivision that has streetlights is paying this, doing the same thing under special assessment.
Okay,
And based on what I found in the minutes, that was clearly the intent, it just didn't happen.
okay,
And so while we're not trying to collect 30 years of back payments, going forward, we felt it was only fair that the residents in crossings of Silver Ridge should pay for their streetlights.
okay, so then going forward, if you do proceed down this, you said right now the estimate was 1570.
Mhm.
For the increases, how are we notified? Is it just surprise on the taxes, or do
It'll
we-
show up on your tax bill. But the annual increases, last year was an anomaly because consumers increased their rates dramatically in 2024. So people got a big hit last fall, last winter. This year, most of them are either going down or going up $1 or $2. The typical change year to year is a couple of, $3, $4 at the most. You're not gonna see, we're starting at 23, so even a big increase might be 27.
Okay, so then my next question for you is, right now, this assessment is covering basically the light bulb replacement? Is that, would that
It
cover?
covers like electricity and maintenance.
Electricity and maintenance, so they're not going to actually be replacing those?
If they need to be, if they burn out, they'll replace them with an LED, they'll replace with LED.
Okay, so but the actual structure does not need replacing, we're talking more just the bulbs?
The fixture itself,
The
yes.
fixture, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, I mean, if a pole breaks, they would repair that too.
okay. So then, will we still contact consumers if the bulbs go out, or we contact the township, and the township contact consumers?
Either way works. Consumers has a fantastic online streetlight outage map where you can just report it yourself. If we get a call, we'll do the same thing, we'll go online and report it, and they're pretty good about getting them replaced.
Okay, so nothing would change in that
No,
regard?
not at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Anybody else that's in attendance that would like to address the board? All right,
I would point out, I did receive an email yesterday, public comment, he wanted it in the record. It is
Yes.
in your packet, and it's got my responses to him as well, that kind of explained everything, so.
we do have Dave that has joined us on Zoom. Dave, did you want to address the board on this topic? If so, unmute, wave your hand. All right. Hearing none, I will now close public comment. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none. Okay, resolution number 2025-40. Clerk Crew, will you please present the resolution?
Yes, approves the estimated cost, creates the crossings of Silver Ridge Street Lighting Special Assessment District, which includes lots 1 through 68 in the crossings of Silver Ridge subdivision, directs the supervisor to create a special assessment role, repeals any conflicting resolutions.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion regarding the adoption of resolution number 2025-40 as presented.
I'll move for adoption.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
I vote yes. Reed,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
resolution passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. All right, in anticipation of the adoption of the previous resolution, a special assessment role has been created, certified, and filed with the Township Clerk. Resolution number 2025-41, Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
Yes, acknowledges the filing of the special assessment role with the clerk and is available for review until public hearing. Schedules a public hearing on special assessment role at the October 7th board meeting. Directs the clerk to publish and mail the notice of hearing according to statute, repeals any conflicting resolutions.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion regarding the adoption of resolution number 2025-41 as presented.
So moved.
Second?
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
I vote yes. Reed,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
resolution passes.
All right, last under public hearings is the Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment District. 2025 Special Assessment Role. This is a public hearing on the 2025 Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment Role. The assessment per property remains at $65. Our fire chief is with us tonight, and you want to come up and...
So it's been at 65 since we started, and we haven't moved it, so we're able to function. There will probably come a time in the future we may need to look at it, but as of right now, everything's running fine, and it's providing equipment and pay and everything for the firefighters. Keeps us moving.
All right.
I'd like to make a comment on this. Props to Chief Bowles for maintaining the expenditures in the operating budget. Any extra amount, whatever we need, it's fine, but there's no frivolous spending, because any extra amount, he can roll that towards the next fire truck whenever needed. So, I mean, to keep our millage, and he comes in under budget every year, and to keep it running the way it's been running at the same price, I think is kudos to Chief.
I would agree, Chief. And you and I talk almost every day, or every day. And not only does he keep the department under budget or within budget, but also he protects our residents. We have the proper equipment. We have a new piece of equipment that'll be arriving soon.
I just forwarded some pictures to Tom today of the ladder truck is now in progress. So,
So,
4 to 6 weeks.
and my hat's off to you, Chief. Like I said, I talk to you every day, but you do an amazing job. I know that there are a lot of municipalities around the state that are having a hard time even keeping firefighters, especially because most of them are part-time. We don't have those problems, and that's due to our leader, and we are keeping our residents safe due to our chief, so. And again, Tom, how long has it been since,
1997?
So 1997, so if you think about what you were making back in 1997, and your employer never gave you a raise, that's how good we're doing here, or the chief's doing here, or the board, everybody. All right, I will now open up for, thanks, Chief.
Yep.
I will now open up for public comment. Is there anyone that is here in person that would like to discuss or address the board regarding the Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment District? Anybody here that's present that would like to address the board? Hearing none, I'll move on to Zoom. Dave, did you want to address the board? All right, we'll take that as a no. I will now close the public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Okay, resolution number 2025-42. Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
confirm special assessment roll 2025-06 as the 2025 Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment Roll. Establishes a due and payable date of December 1st, 2025. Assesses a 1% per month penalty on late installments. Directs the clerk to deliver special assessment roll with warrants attached to the treasurer. You're the mean guy with the warrants. Direct the treasurer to collect the special assessment, repeal any conflicting resolutions.
Okay, I will now entertain a motion regarding the adoption of resolution number 2025-42 as presented.
So move.
Second.
All right, the motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Kessler.
Yes.
I vote yes. Reed.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Gopel. Resolution passes.
All right, moving on to the next business orders reports. We have our zoning administrator report for August 2025, and our zoning administrator, Mike Deem, is here to go over it.
Yeah, let's hit some of the highlights here. Planning Commission met twice in August. They begun review of two zoning ordinance amendments. One is for the keeping of chickens and ducks, and the other is relating to side yard setbacks for narrow lots. We've had some residents come in to express concerns about the minimum setbacks, so Planning Commission has been working on reviewing that, and we'll probably get some recommendations to you in the next couple of weeks here on both of those topics. Planning Commission reviewed two event barn special use permits, one for Stony Acres, which is where Barn Fest is, and that was renewed. And then there was a request for the horse barn on Silver Lake Road to be used as a venue, and that was denied. Copy of the minutes were included in the report. And if you have questions, I can answer that. Parks and Rec boards continue to review the Parks and Rec master plan, and we'll talk more about this next month, but we had a very successful open house last Tuesday. We had probably 30 residents show up, and then another 15 either board members or advisory board members. So it was pretty successful turnout for the open house. Other things to keep your eye on: county is close to finishing up their US 23 corridor study. They'll be requesting to be on the agenda soon to just give you an update on that and a presentation. That's the quick overview of the planning and zoning report. I can answer any questions you guys might have.
How many people were concerned about chickens and ducks? I mean, I know they've been wanting it for some time.
Yeah, we get calls, if not weekly, every other week, asking if we can have chickens and ducks. Last year, the Planning Commission had a residents that wanted to put together a petition to amend the zoning ordinance. And depending on your point of view, the requirements for resident-initiated rezoning is they have to get 10% of the voting population of the last governor's election. So that was a very high hurdle in a short period, and they didn't think it was worth it. So the Planning Commission made comments that they would be reviewing that this year. Well, we're close to getting it done before the end of the year. So that's kind of what helped drive this. We're looking for an opportunity of a quiet time to start reviewing it, and I guess this is as quiet as it gets. The Planning Commission reviewed it at the last meeting, and they will hold a public hearing in October on some draft language. Whether or not a recommendation is made at that time, we'll see, but at least we'll get to that next step of doing a public hearing on it.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
Are there any other questions or comments from the board? Did want to say thank you to the board members that came. I know that Bob came, Trustee Gopal, Rob came with his wife to the Parks and Rec, and I was very pleased with the amount of people that showed up for something like that, so I just wanted to say thanks. Okay, thanks, Mike. Are there any committee reports to be made to the board this evening? Hearing none, we will move on to communications. This evening, we have none. Next business order is adoption of ordinances. This is the proposed amendment to the sewer system ordinance. This is the second reading and the vote on the adoption. Operations Manager, roll for review.
Yes, so this proposed amendment was introduced at the last meeting, and based on the discussions amongst the board members and the township attorney, we did make some revisions to it. I worked with Mr. Deem and then sent them to Attorney Belzer for review. So it kind of clarified the language. Basically, there's two components to it. One, anything newly built that has sewer within 300 feet of the property line is required to connect. And any existing property that has a septic system failed that has sewer within 300 feet of their property must connect, provided that it's also, there's sufficient capacity in the sewer, and the sewer in question is a gravity sewer and not a force main.
All right, thanks, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Okay, I'll entertain a motion regarding the adoption of an amendment to the sewer system ordinance to revise language regarding required connection as presented.
I'll move for adoption of the resolution, of the ordinance, I'm sorry.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Krug votes yes, motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next, under adoption of ordinances, this is a proposed amendment to the municipal water system ordinance. This is also the second reading vote on adoption, and Operations Manager, roll for your review again.
Okay, so similar concept. In this case, we made two changes to what was already in existence. One is that any new home or commercial or industrial structure whose property line is within 300 feet of existing water mains or water lines is required to connect. And any existing commercial and industrial but not residential properties using private well must connect to the municipal water if their well fails and their property line is within 300 feet of existing water mains.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Any questions or comments from the board at all? Okay, I will entertain a motion regarding the adoption of an amendment to the municipal water system ordinance to revise language regarding required connection as presented.
I'll move for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Gopel,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
I vote yes, Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Only thing I have under unfinished business is just a reminder that our next meeting is October 7th, so we have a 3-week between our next meeting. So just wanted to let everybody know so they can adjust their schedules accordingly. Moving on to new business, we have the appointment to Construction Code Fire Code Board of Appeals, and we have our zoning administrator to explain.
Yeah, so after not meeting for the previous 6 years, the Construction Board of Appeals has met twice this year. John's been a very important member of that board. He's very knowledgeable, and runs a good meeting, and helped us get through something that we don't do very often. So the recommendation is to reappoint him for the 2 years to both. So there's two different boards, right? You got the Board of Construction and then the Fire Code. So we need two separate motions, but the recommendation would be to reappoint him for another 2-year term for each.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions or comments from the board? Again, as Mike stated, we do need two motions. So the first one will be, I will entertain a motion regarding the reappointment of John Gazal to the Fenton Township Construction Code Board of Appeals for the term ending September 30th, 2027.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Kessler,
Yes.
I vote yes, Reed,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Gopel,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. All right, as stated, the second motion is needed. I'll entertain a motion regarding the reappointment of John Gazal to the Fenton Township Fire Code Board of Appeals for the term ending September 30th, 2027.
So move.
I'll second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Reed,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Gopel, Kessler,
Yes.
and I vote yes, motion passes.
All right, next under new business is approval of the 2025 Fenton Township operating millage rate. We have all reviewed, we went over this as we have for the last 15 years. Operations Manager Broker, can you provide additional details?
Sure. So a Court of Appeals ruling a few years ago changed the maximum levy for the township. We're actually, under that ruling, our maximum millage is actually more than 3 mills. The board, in considering budgetary needs, has chosen to leave the millage rate the same since 2021 at 0.6576. Based on those decisions and anticipated revenue needs for 2026, I would recommend that we do the same for 2025.
Thanks, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from the board? As Mr. Gopel brought up before with the chief, I guess just to let the taxpayers know, Tom, this rate's been consistent for how long?
2021, since 2021, it's been the same rate.
Okay. The township is well managed. We have a great operations manager in Tom Broker. The township is a well-managed township, and doing so and having the right people, we have an amazing group of people that work at this township. Some of the best I've worked around, and I've been in business for 4 decades and over several hundred employees. And this team that you have here as a township is one of the best I've ever seen, and I mean that. So when you have this quality of staff in a township that can run so we don't have to raise your taxes, and it's being well managed. And just wanted everyone to know that.
But what we said is not true.
What?
It has not been constant since 2021. It has gone
Down, correct. Inflation,
So tell me where you have that happen with taxes.
anywhere.
0.6576.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We won't call it chump change.
And just so you know, for the record too, and Tom, what could we have the rate at?
I think it's in the form in the packet, 3.04.
So
3
5
point-
times what we're charging.
Correct.
Almost.
So, yeah.
Doesn't mean it never will happen, but right now they're doing the job. All right, I will entertain a motion regarding the proposed millage rate of 0.6576 for the Fenton Township operating millage for the December 25th property tax roll.
Make a motion to approve millage rate of 0.6576 for the 2026 operating budget as presented.
2025.
5.
It's 25 tax roll, 26 is when the revenue is recognized,
That's
so.
what I said.
Yes.
Okay. Second. All right, motion been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
I heard them all vote yes, so we'll just, no. Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
I vote yes, Reed,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next under new business is resolution number 2025-43. This is the proposed moratorium on enforcement of violations relating to the keeping of chickens and ducks in residential zone properties. And we have our Mike here tonight to explain.
So as we mentioned earlier, Planning Commission's reviewing the zoning ordinance relationship to the keeping of chickens and ducks. One of the things that they found is that keeping of chickens and ducks are allowed in the city of Fenton, right? They're allowed in the city of Linden, allowed in the surrounding communities. The Planning Commission has done education on the Right to Farm Act, and one of the recommendations that came out of that was to develop a chicken and ducks ordinance that would help discourage people going to the Right to Farm Act, because that opens up a lot more potential issues than having a well-defined ordinance. As the Planning Commission works through this, right, it's requested that a moratorium of up to 6 months be in place, and that would put a pause on any township initiated enforcement of the ordinance relating to chickens and ducks, because right now, chickens and ducks are only allowed in the agricultural zoning district, and not allowed in any of the residential zoning districts. What the moratorium would not do, it would not affect the homeowner association's ability to enforce their own rules. It would not affect private citizens from enforcing deed restrictions. So there are some subdivisions that wouldn't allow this, and they are more than welcome to continue enforcing their rules for that. As I mentioned, the Planning Commission has scheduled a public hearing in October, so it's anticipated that this will not take 6 months, but I've been wrong on my estimate on how long a zoning amendment will take to get to you guys. So the request is for 6 months at this time. Ideally, it would be shorter than that.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions? I'm sure there's questions.
Yeah, so Mike, my only question is that I'm supportive of putting a moratorium in place, but I just want to ensure that when we do come up with some ordinance, that there is no grandfathering for people who already have ducks and chickens. They will be required to comply.
Correct, because right now it wouldn't be allowed, right? So there's not a situation where you'd be grandfathered in.
Well, what I'm
because
saying is if we put this moratorium in place and somebody goes out and gets 20 chickens in their backyard, and that there's no enforcement because we're on this moratorium, and then we pass an ordinance and they say, well, I already have my 20 chickens, you can't take them away. That's why I'm saying,
Doesn't work like that.
yeah.
They don't get
I
grandfathered.
just want to make sure there's no grandfathering.
Correct.
Okay.
Why is that,
They
though?
would still have to
This is-
comply.
This is zoning ordinance change?
No, the zoning ordinance is not changed, we're just not enforcing it.
We're just not enforcing the law.
Well, but the change is gonna be to the zoning ordinance, yes?
Right, but right now they're not allowed.
Okay.
So if
What he's
there's-
saying is if me, living in R3, want to have 3 hens in my yard, no ordinance enforcer is going to come to my yard and remove them.
Yeah, or if you have 20, or 2,000, or 200,000.
Well, I'm going to have 3.
Okay. I'm just, are we expending a lot of resources on dealing with these kind of complaints?
we have one complaint right now.
Okay. Well,
there
unlike
are-
Christine, I am opposed to this, and it's not for the reason that you think, okay?
Okay?
So, part of what we learned with Right to Farm is there's a couple of components. You all hear about the GAMPs all the time. You gotta be in compliance with the GAMP. The first component, before you ever get to that test, to get Right to Farm protection, is it has to be a commercial use. And one of the questions I asked our presenter is if your zoning ordinance prohibits commercial use in that zoning district, do you have right to farm protections, even though you're in compliance with the GAMPs? And the answer was, he doesn't know the answer. Basically, the answer was, you're gonna have to do it in court. You might be the one that wants to be the test case, you know, whatever it is, it's unknown. So, actually, Mark, to the point that you're probably thinking ahead, although you actually look like you believe me when I told you it wasn't for the reason why. The concern that I have is that this moratorium is gonna be perceived to be permissive use of ducks and chickens while we're figuring it out, okay? And what I wanted to, because I think we're gonna end up with a chicken and duck ordinance.
Yes.
Okay? I think we're gonna have one that's gonna be permissive.
Well, now that's what Mike is saying. We're doing the moratorium while we're planning this ordinance, so we don't have to deal with the GAMPs or the Right to Farm Act.
Well, but that's my issue with this, is this could be, what I would envision going forward, if we have such a ordinance, is that I would contest anyone that claimed to have right to farm protection, because so it's clear to everybody, once right to farm kicks in, we are out. We have zero say, none. And as long as they're in compliance with the GAMPs, they can do whatever they wanna do. And how many chickens can they have, Mike?
Ooh, a lot.
A
Like,
lot of
a chicken unit is like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's beyond ridiculous. So my concern with this moratorium, first of all, is to your point, people are gonna say, oh, I can get, and they're gonna do whatever they wanna do, without knowing what the rules are, okay? So we're solving a problem that we really don't have, and I think we're creating exposure for enforcement of what is coming down the pike in a few weeks, months, whatever it is,
short period of time, you're gonna get what you've been hoping for, and it's not Kentucky Fried Chicken.
So what you're telling us is you don't want this moratorium, you just want, because if it isn't an issue, and first of all, I'm happy to hear you say right now we're doing things that aren't problems, because I think we've been doing that for the last couple of years here. So you're saying just hold off on this because nobody's bringing it up to us now, and then in another month or two, we'll have this?
We'll have the
like-
rules, everybody can, then people can go and do and comply with whatever it is we end up with. Right now, we're just kinda saying, yeah, this is gonna be perceived to be open season.
I see what you're saying.
on ducks
I think
and
that's a
chickens.
valid point.
And I just think, just wait a little bit, it's okay. Now, I would whisper to our code enforcement guy, I don't care if you don't act quickly, if somebody comes in and complains while we're trying to sort it out, till we figure out what the rules are. But I wouldn't pass a moratorium for fear that it was gonna be used against us in a right to farm proceeding. That's my view on it.
No, it's a good
If
point.
if there was language in there that said non-commercial enforcement, would that change your opinion at all?
Well, I think what you have to have in place, and that's part of my email when we were talking about the meetings, the thing that I'm gonna be concerned about is making it crystal clear in this ordinance that there can't be any commercial use, because that's gonna be the key to keeping right to farm from just throwing us out of the game.
Wouldn't a limit make, in an ordinance, and a limit in an ordinance, make it kind of not necessarily illegal of commercial use, but I mean, if you have 3 chickens or 4, you're not gonna be doing a whole lot of,
I think that, I don't know if you're talking about limits in numbers.
Yeah, I'm
That
just
won't
talking-
do it itself, and there are cases that talk about it, that under right to
that
farm.
won't do it.
That won't do it. What you gotta make sure you're clear on is that there can be no commercial use. And right now, we can say it is illegal in those zoning districts, and it probably is, but when we get done with this ordinance, it's gonna say specifically and clearly, no commercial use. Because we need to be able to go in front of the judge with a straight face and say, there has never been a time in Fenton Township where commercial use was permitted in these zoning districts. So that's my fear for this, and if we haven't got a bunch of them, we're not wasting a bunch of time and money on it, just wait for the month or 2 that it's gonna take to do this and implement it. And in the meantime, I'll have a chat with Pat. I'm not going around looking for chicken fights to fight. I just don't wanna have, I don't wanna have this bite us.
But presently, there's commercial use. A lot of people have chickens, and they're selling them.
Well, the question
Would
is,
that be interpreted?
the question is it gotta be a legal commercial use?
Yeah, 'cause right now
That's
it's not
the
a
question.
legal commercial use.
Now,
I know,
and
but
even that question, there's not really a clear answer to. When you look at the statute, it says there's gotta be commercial use, and I asked that question, that's what I wanted to know, because any use right now that is commercial is illegal in those districts. And I think we need to make it even more clear because I think we are gonna be permitting them to some degree. I think that needs to be crystal clear, no commercial use. And then we can, with a straight face, say, we still have an ordinance that we can enforce, we're not impacted by the dams.
What's classified as commercial use though?
Selling
I mean,
one egg.
Selling them or just producing the eggs and then selling them on the
So
road?
what if you have what if you go in front of the ZBA and ask for a small business license to, home occupation permit to put I mean, they're not gonna be ridiculous, I'm sure, but I mean, Linden has a pretty successful, a mile down the road from me and you, a bakery that she just opens up every Sunday. And in the summertime, and it's just, would that be, would that be allowable as far as they can come in front of the board of the ZBA and apply a small home to sell chicken eggs?
If you do it,
Stand.
they can always come and ask,
Huh?
but you have to know, if you're gonna grant that, you have now permitted a commercial use. Okay, and she might have only 3 chickens at that point in time, but as soon as you do that, the township's ability to say, no, you can only have X number of chickens and
Don't
Y
we
number of.
regulate the other small businesses at home?
Oh, yeah,
So,
everybody's gotta come and get a
But
permit.
we're not dealing with the right to farm.
So the right to farm act, is a state law, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a state law.
And so, but it's not just there's other aspects to that,
Why would-
besides just the commercial aspect, right? There's the number of homes within
Right.
a really small radius, to be able to have those protections under the Right to Farm Act, which unfortunately that radius has been reduced. So there are now locations in the township that otherwise in the past wouldn't have been, able to be claim Right to Farm Act that now theoretically could. But to get back to John's point, it's the commercial aspect is the major trigger on that.
And Mark, to your question, there was a case.
Sure.
That basically said there is no minimum level of commercial use that has to be attained to be, Bill's point, commercial use. It can be a dozen eggs. And if it's permitted, you're now commercial, and it's now GAMPS and not ordinance.
And again, this isn't me, but I'm a big homeowner, individual rights guy, and I'm just trying to think here. So, we put restrictions on every other business out here that's from the home. Why would selling a dozen eggs or 2 dozen at a stand open up this giant?
Because of the state statute.
Because of
Well,
the right
see,
dates.
well, we're not doing the right to farm here.
Well, but that's, if we allow the commercial use, the right to farm preempts anything that we do.
So,
we are
once
done.
we open up one, so this is specific to chicken eggs versus me having a bakery out front?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, I got you.
Yeah, bakery doesn't come under the Right to Farm Act.
Right. Right to bake egg.
Right to bake egg. After listening to John, Mike, do you have a solution? Because to be
Well,
honest with you, I think that I was for it, to be honest with you, but now I really wasn't thinking about the Right to Farm Act and what other, because if we do a complete moratorium right now, then somebody could go out and get 50 chickens.
Right.
And then we're basically telling everybody we're not going to enforce anything. So John's idea of basically just leaving things as it is, we can control the enforcement.
Right.
Can I hear what Jack?
Yeah,
Sure.
John has totally convinced me that this moratorium is probably not a good idea.
Okay.
And I say that, I understand what Mike's trying to do, but if you only have one case now, and I'm the guy that goes to court with all these, I can talk to Pat, talk to Mike, and do whatever without opening this Pandora's box that John really brought out. That great argument.
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't have a lot right now. And I think when I talked to Mike, and I talked to him on several occasions, and I said, Mike, 6 months is way too long. And he said, Vince, we're gonna have this done in 4 to 6 weeks. Whatever you have it done at, bottom line
I
is,
don't know if I
first
said
and
that
second
so
reading,
much.
well, come on, just think of short-term rentals, We got that done in 3 months.
Right.
Oh, yeah, right.
So, any other questions or comments?
Well, I agree that the moratorium probably shouldn't be on. And there are other types of eggs that are sold. Quail, pheasant, and they're sold for repopulation. So I think we're better off just kind of turning it ahead till we see what develops.
So I will say that the planning commission did talk about that, and they're very clear that the ordinance is only talking about ducks and chickens. And, what you're describing sounds like agricultural use, right, for the growing of animals for repopulation purposes. So there is a mechanism in the ordinance today for that type of use, just not in a subdivision. But, that is part of the discussion the planning commission has had. And,
Well, I hate to see Mark have 300 chickens and then open up a fertilizer collection unit.
Mike, is there a lot of complaints though, with these chickens? They starting to evolve in neighborhoods, causing problems?
we currently have one complaint.
One complaint out of, that's,
Yep.
Well, it's also illegal, Bill.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
what you're gonna do, you're gonna open it up. We're gonna find out whether we're gonna have complaints, but I think we are gonna open it up. And I will tell you, even though there's only one active complaint right now, every time it's come in front of the planning commission to, a specific instance, there's always 2 sides to the argument. And I get it, my kids want to teach them how to raise the animals, I get all that, then you get the neighbor that says, my dog's gonna eat it, am I gonna get sued? You know, it's coming over and pooping in my yard, you know, there's two sides to the argument. And we're gonna hear it, because I think the right thing is to do, I think we're gonna get there, Mark. I know you think that I'm anti-chicken, and I'm really not. I just, right now, I'm anti-moratorium, we'll just leave it at that, okay?
So I can't have my elephant in my yard no more?
No. Even if you scoop the poop, it doesn't matter.
So funny because I now support Mark in his decision. I was against it. I think it's a great thing. But I always have this, I had the same question. I was thinking, it's gonna be the biggest issue we're gonna have is dogs. I mean, a dog sees a chicken, even if he's in the cage, he's gonna sit over the fence and just sit there and bark.
Yep.
So, but we'll work through those
Dogs
issues.
also
and-
eat smaller dogs next door too. So,
I don't wanna live in your hood, dude.
All right,
chickens and
so what I will do right now, if there's no other, is there any other discussion? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Question before you do that.
Okay.
Are we better off not voting either way on this moratorium? I look at
It's
the
already-
legal.
Well, I think if you just choose not to present the resolution.
I'm just not gonna choose to present.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
and
I'm
then-
sorry.
Then you don't need to make,
If
no
nobody
action.
makes a motion,
No
it just-
action.
No action is gonna be taken this evening. All right, next under new business, resolution number 2025-44, proposed waterway improvement special assessment district. This is for the Tory Ruth Channel on Lake Fenton. Operations Manager Broke will review.
Yes, so property owners that front a small channel on Lake Fenton, near Torrey Road and Ruth Drive, approached the township about a special assessment district to clean out their channel. Apparently, they've had a fair amount of sedimentation and sand going in the water where it's becoming increasingly difficult to get their boats in and out. Similar to what we've done over on Lake Panema a few times. They obtained a proposal, a little over $100,000 to do all 600 feet of the channel, 30 feet wide. There are 12 properties that appear to benefit from the proposed improvement, and so that would be, we'd be looking at probably a 10-year special assessment to do that. So the first step is to conduct a public hearing on the creation of the special assessment district, and we have a resolution in the packet to do just that. Since the previous resolution was not adopted, this one will be renumbered to 2025-43.
43. I got that. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, resolution number 2025-43. Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
Yes, it tentatively declares the township's intent to dredge and clean the Tory Ruth Channel on Lake Fenton, tentatively designates the special assessment district as the Tory Ruth Channel Improvement Special Assessment District, which includes 12 properties that front the channel, schedules a public hearing for October 7th at the 2025 Township Board meeting, directs the clerk to publish and mail the hearing notices in accordance with the statute, repeals any conflicting resolutions.
Okay, I'll now entertain a motion regarding the adoption of resolution number 2025-43 as presented.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Kessler,
Yes.
There'll be a public hearing.
There'll be a
at the
public
next
meeting. And remember, it's gonna be through, what was the date?
October 7th.
October 7th.
Just so you know, we meet every 2 weeks, but this is gonna be a third week.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopal,
yes.
I vote yes, Reed,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
resolution passes.
And just so you know, all we're doing tonight is just voting for the public meeting. That's all. We're not voting to approve it, do anything. That's not what the board does. So I just wanna let you know that, at this, right now, all we're doing is just voting to have that public meeting. All right, moving on to the next business order is public comment. Is there anyone on the board who has additional comments or concerns? Here-
Public or a board? You said both.
Board.
Board?
Yeah.
No. Well, I just wanna say, remember remember what, I like the step that we're going, to bring in a little bit of something agricultural back. Because this township, the real, to me, one of the big draws of this township, other than the lakes, is that it's still a fairly small community with some, what's left of agricultural and some R3, and I just think progress isn't necessarily where this township needs to go at all, and I'd like to think that this is actually a step back with this chickens and ducks, potential ordinance coming up. And I just wanna know that I think that's a step in the right direction for the people that move to this township, for the small rural area that it was. And I wanna commend the board and the ZBA, or planning commission, for looking at this and making remembering what the people are here for. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Gopel. Anything else? All right, hearing none, we will now move to the next business order, which is public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board on something that was on the agenda or not on the agenda? If so, just come up to the mic. Hearing none, Dave, you're the only one. If you are here to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items, please unmute. All right, there's nobody here that is in attendance that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda item. Same with those on Zoom, so it is now 7:26 PM. If there's nothing else, I say good night, the meeting's adjourned.